I would advise you stop struggling, Highness. You're only hurting yourself. Oh, please. Spare me the angry glare. You surely must have seen this coming. I mean, you are the royal heir, and I am, after all, a cunning thief. Honestly, it was too easy to get you, Highness. If you ever get back to your kingdom, I'd have a strong chat with your knights. Such language. Well, get it out of your system. We have a long carriage ride to the rendezvous points. Oh, I'm ransoming you. Sorry, I thought I made that obvious. Why? Rather, why not, Highness? Like I said, times are tough, and everyone needs a way to survive. You wouldn't understand that, would you? Living life in that cushy palace, never experiencing how rough life on the outside of the palace walls are. Oh, please. Do you actually believe that nonsense? Tell me, Highness, when was the last time you left and walked among your people, seen how they live? Oh yes, curse my name. One who knows nothing can understand nothing. Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a dutiful knight. He was a very dutiful knight, one who served his royal family well. But as this royal knight grew older, the royal family took him for granted. They kept him in service long beyond when he should have been able to retire. His family watched as he took on more and more quests for them, until one day, he never came home. He was forgotten. And what of his widow? Was she taken care of? No. She was tossed aside like trash. And his child. That poor child lost both parents. One to death, and the other to despair. It's a tragic story, isn't it, Highness? Not really like those fairy tales I'm sure you read every night. No happy endings. The good knight doesn't get his just reward. But that's life, isn't it, Highness? It's suffering and it's pain. And that's something you should know, too. Countless others have. Well, try not to take it too personally, Highness. This isn't really about you. More about what you represent. You are the precious golden child of the kingdom, a symbol of hope for the future. Taking you, well, it may be the only way to get your parents to understand pain. Oh, innocence. Surely you've heard of the sin of the father. How do you know that name? Tell me quickly, Highness, before I lose my temper. Ah. Consider me surprised. You remember me? No. This thief has come a long way from the child you used to play with in the garden. Funny how grief and despair can harden a person. Stop calling me that. That person is dead. He died the minute his father did. And then died again when his mother died. Do you even understand the depths of grief I went through? I wished for death because every second I was alive hurt. A horrible burning pain. But I survived. I grew strong. And I planned for this day. Afraid that this tender reunion won't change that. Besides, Highness, when was the last time you spared a thought for a commoner like me? Really, though, it's nothing personal. At least, not towards you. No. I suggest you simply relax. I would hate to have to mar your lovely face by knocking you unconscious. You may call me that if you wish. I've been called worse. I'm afraid no one is coming, Highness. No one knows you've been taken. But never fear, unless you give me cause to, I shall not harm you. I know that might not mean much coming from the person who took you, but it's true. My quarrel is not with you, after all. You are simply a symbol of the corruption that rots this kingdom. Oh, spare me the lecture. It won't do you any good. My mind is made up. Until the ransom is in my hand, you are stuck with me. Might as well try to make the journey pleasant. Now, if you promise not to do anything foolish, I will undo the ropes. Do you agree? There we are. Much more comfortable, isn't it? Like I said, my quarrel isn't with you. I have no desire to exact revenge on you. You are simply the means to an end, Highness. What happened to me is what happens to everyone not born with a silver spoon in their mouth. I grew up. I was forced to survive. I made difficult choices, ones that you would never face. Oh, please. I expect now you're going to tell me some sob story about how one day Daddy wouldn't buy you an island or a castle. Whatever struggles you claim to have been through, they're not the same as mine. They never will be. Now, I suggest you just relax. We're going to be together for quite a while. I would hate to make this time unpleasant. Here. It's a handkerchief, not a knife. Take it. Dry your eyes. I'm a thief, but I'm not heartless. I can understand how distressing this situation may be. Rest assured, you will be returned in one piece. As soon as I get my money, you're free to go. So, try to calm yourself. There are worse fates for someone like you. I'm sure you know how many enemies your family has. I mean, if one of them got their hands on you, who knows what else could happen. Change into these clothes. You didn't think I'd take you in a crown, did you? Nothing says suspicious quite like that. No, Highness, for the duration of this trip, you'll be a commoner. Makes it easier to travel. I will step outside, change, and then we'll be heading out on horseback. Well, well. Don't you look like a marvelous peasant? I trust the fabric isn't too rough for your delicate skin. The glare again. Really, Highness, if I were any less of a thief, I might have been frightened by it. Now, take my hand. Do it. I'll help you onto the horse. We've got to get moving. Good. Hold on, Highness. I tend to ride a bit fast. She seems to have taken a liking to you, Highness. You should be proud. Topaz is notorious for disliking everyone, and she's been quite a few people even dared to get close to her. Do you know how to ride? Well, I'm sure. It would be expected of you. Come, sit down. You should eat. It's not poisoned, Highness. If I wanted to kill you, I would have done so already. Besides, you're hungry, aren't you? You need to keep up your strength. I told you, you're my ticket to a hefty ransom, not to mention revenge. If you died before I achieved that, then I'd have wasted my time. No. As much as I'm sure I would love walking down memory lane with you, I'm sure I've told you that the person you know is dead. No point in begging the dead, now is there? That glare. Tell me, does it work on your enemies? Do they crumble before it? I'm quite serious. Inquiring minds want to know. Careful with your words, Highness. They could very well be your last. No, I would never dare to threaten the presumptive heir. I simply want you to mind your manners. We will be traveling together for a while, after all. Oh, I have no doubt. By now, I'm sure word has gotten out and knights have been dispatched everywhere to find you. Too bad I'm smarter than all of them combined. Cocky? No. Highness, I'm quite humble. I'm just good at what I do. Is it a crime to state such facts? Come here. Do it now. Speak a word and I'll slit your throat. Evening to you, Constable. Yes. I'm afraid you've stumbled onto a romantic night away from prying eyes. My sweetheart's family still hasn't given their consent for me to court. You speak the truth on the matter. I am a mere mortal, after all. I cannot resist such a beautiful temptation. Isn't that right, love? Of course, sir. I appreciate you looking the other way. Here. For your trouble. And to you as well, Constable. What, Highness? Were my lips too rough for such delicate skin as yours? Fine. Be upset by the principle of the matter. It doesn't change anything. What? You thought a kiss meant something? Highness, one kiss is nothing to a man like me. But it's adorable you thought otherwise. Truly. Now mock your pain. And what of my pain? What of what I've suffered at the hands of people like you? I thought so. You better rest while you can. We'll be leaving before dawn breaks. Here. It's a blanket, Highness. Surely you have those in your cushy castle. Good. I'll take watch. You sleep in the tent there. Oh, spare me the modesty, Highness. If I wanted to have any sort of wicked way with you, don't you think I would have done it by now? Besides, you're not my type. No, rich and spoiled doesn't do it for me. Go figure. Relax, Highness. I meant what I said, that you'd be safe as long as you followed my rules. So take the blanket and go rest. We have a lot of traveling to do tomorrow. Sure. But where would you run to? Do you even know where you are right now? Exactly. Good night, Highness. Yes, you're right. You know your constellations. Funny. I wouldn't consider that necessary for you. Oh, come off it, Highness. You're a spoiled heir. Your only job is to marry rich and not be a tyrant, perhaps. Simple enough to do without knowing constellations. Really? You wanted to study that? Why? Sailing? You want to be on the sea? As what, pray tell? A pirate? Now I'm just picturing it. You on the open seas, armed with a sword and a black flag. It's an interesting picture. No. I suppose you wouldn't be allowed to do that, would you? Highness. My apologies. I misspoke earlier. Of course. Sleep well. Great. What a devil that I apologize to them. Come on, keep focused. This is a job like any other. Just do the job. Oh, come on, Topaz. Don't do this now. You're really gonna do this? You know this means no treats, right? Highness. Come to mock me, like the horse? No. Topaz just decided that we're taking an unscheduled break. Ignore him. He's just holding out for more apples, which he's not gonna get. Well, it would seem that way. But I can't exactly leave you here to go get apples at the market. Don't take me for a fool. There's no way you wouldn't run away the moment I'm gone. Knowing my luck, Topaz would even help you. Don't start with me. If you just keep going, we wouldn't be dealing with this. Well, from what I can tell, there is a town nearby. No, I'm not afraid of showing my face. Like I said, no one knows you're gone. And even if they did, they wouldn't know I'm the one who took you. I'm not an amateur, Highness. Don't treat me like one. And don't call me that name. If you keep making me repeat myself, I'll lose my temper. You wouldn't like that. Well, I could tie you up to a tree with a gag so you couldn't scream. But that sounds like a lot more effort. So instead, you'll come with me into town. No offense, but who would believe you? I'm sure there are lots of crazy people who claim to be royalty all the time. In fact, I know so. If you'd like to find yourself in the stocks, feel free to claim you're the kidnapped royal heir. Exactly. Instead of that, come with me into town. We'll get the apples. Maybe I'll buy you a sweet. And is it working? I find a compliant victim works better than me having to drag them everywhere. Very well. You'll have to stay very close to me, though. Let's go then. Take my hand. I am quite serious. You want to be tied up to the tree? Because that's still an option. Good choice, Highness. Now, you will not let go of my hand. Is that clear? If you do, you will not like the consequences. Very well. You've truly never been in the marketplace before. Well, from the way you're acting like a child in a sweet shop, it's easy to tell this is your first visit. What? Did they not let you out of the palace grounds? I know the answer. You're as much a prisoner there as you are now. Except right now, you're allowed to go out and see the world. Yes, well, I'm not sure what they'll do to you once you're out of my hands. I'm assuming they'll hold you hostage for political reasons. I can say it so casually because this isn't my problem. You are not. Sure, run away. I'll find you. Or if I don't, somebody else will. And they might not be as fun as I am. The death glare again. Your face might freeze that way. All right, apples. I don't know. Topaz goes through them like no one's business. I swear he's trying to eat me out of this ransom money. I'm glad you found it amusing. Makes one of us. Yeah, I'll take this much. All right. You kept your end of the bargain. My turn. What sweet do you want? Or, oh, well, if you don't want one... All right. Then, what do you want? Okay. I'm not judging. All right, just a little bit. It's just so common. I'd expect you'd want something more fancy. No, it's fine. Don't let me sway you. And one of these, please. Here. Well, don't let me stop you. Go ahead and have a bite. You're easy to please, aren't you? Maybe I am a bit jealous I didn't get one. Anyway, enough fun and games. Let's head back. Here you go, you little monster. I swear, Topaz is the most selfish horse I've ever met. No, be quiet. Don't encourage him. Well, after you have your apples, Topaz, we've got to get going. Highness, you're enjoying this too much. Well, I suppose even a thief must meet their match eventually. I just didn't think mine would be a horse. Now shut up, Highness, before I lose my patience. We'll be moving again soon. Best get ready. Knock it off, Topaz. Here, have another apple. We ride soon.